Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the technical momentum outlook for week 19. It is May 7th, 2017. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan, and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, Jedi traders. It is again Sunday. We have French election results soon to be coming in. Market set here to open up in about 5 hours. So surely after that last nice jump there on the market on Friday, that seems to be what the market is waiting for. And so let's run through the charts, recap quick of last week, see where we are on the technical momentum as the charts situate themselves on this relentless move up. But market's just never going to be the same, guys. Market's never going to be the same. So let's start with the ES Weekly there. And nothing seemed to put a dent to this market as we see the ES continue to roll up from the lows. This is the Murray math levels, MML levels, fractals of 8 in the market. Like using that for the bigger picture and then integrating the range charts on an intraday basis. You could also do that on a longer term basis using Heikin Ashi bars to indicate the strength of the trend in combination with moving averages. So here, without any moving averages and just seeing the resistance, the consolidation at these MML highs, combination of Fibonacci targets or retracement levels. Either way, our market is fractal, and we got ourselves a trend since November, and that's where we're headed. And so big key events, we seem to be sitting in them as we head into the summer trading here. Not too far away, but disregarding any negative news or potential of anything to bring the markets down, that's exactly where the ES has been holding. And so on the moving averages on our key two charts that I indicate to me trend in the market, while there are other charts that we do look at every day, you can see here price action still maintaining a clear indicator of trend momentum, whether you're the swing or ETF trader, holding above the 10 and the 50. It doesn't seem that long ago that we were already talking about market action regaining above that 10-period moving average, and here we've managed to do that. Almost questionable on that ES there on Friday's session or through the weekly, as price action didn't seem to be either pulling down but not pulling up back up to its all-time highs. And price action here obviously on the ES it seems to be the buy the dips in an uptrend. That seems to be the rule. All right, so looking at the open gaps that still remain below, still a concern of mine, has been every day. Yes, we have open gaps all the way down to 1860.75 there on the ES. I'm not saying we're getting them next week. At some point, it might take years to get those, but at least let's close out those short-term open gaps in the market. Those don't sit there comfortably. YM looked like it was almost going to grab that there this week down here, 732, but you can see the NQ relentless to the upside with earnings coming out this season. And obviously the FANG stocks doing really well, and other key tech stocks keeping that NQ up there with a high now of 48.75, and the ES almost grabbing, actually, in almost right in the last 30 minutes, that 4:30 to 5 time frame. We almost got that market up to 2,400. Missed by a mark. So as a trend trader, the obvious movement momentum remains upside, but the caution must be carried forward as those open gaps do sit down below. All right, so wrapping up week 18, let's go ahead and just take those MML overlays. We'll take a look at the big picture here in a moment, but using a range chart here, love the Heikin Ashi bars. Again, if you're first time looking at Heikin Ashi bars, just a clear indicator of trend on the charts instead of trying to define what a candle is, where there's a variety of different candles. The HA bars is simple. It's either solid body tail up, solid body tail down, or it's an indecision bar. Just 3 types of bars to indicate. And obviously trend here on Friday, that last minute boost, nice range there here on ES, almost grabbing that all-time high again. But we didn't stray away from that 34. Again, I'm using a T3. That's a Tim Tilson moving average. A little bit more smooth. You could throw a regular 34 EMA on there. A little bit higher time frame here on the ES. This is a 10-7 Flex Renko. I use the range charts to indicate a smoother trend. And to me, here, obvious, here's the week's picture. Price action just pretty much shuffled at the MMLOs. Remember, Monday was a great lift, and then boom, finally on Friday with, at this point, also note on lower volume. That always concerns me, but hey, low volume ticks can still be made in trend, and price action made itself up here to the MML high upside. Again, this is the higher time frame, 60-minute, 4-hour daily chart. So big picture, as market action after a lot of sideways action there on the ES, but really never was able to get away from that 34 EMA and pretty much held on to the 10 EMA. So a lot of consolidation through the week. And NQ, similar picture here. Again, a lot of sideways price action through the major support resistance and the support here on the 60-minute chart. And finally breakout to the upside in the last 20 minutes. That's right, 20 minutes. I can't tell you how many times the market loves to do that. Pop on the last 20 minutes of the market. But don't make that a trading strategy. It doesn't necessarily play out all the time. All right, so there are the charts as we wrap up week 18. Again, you could see those charts here. And my post analysis, plus individual charts of the day, trends of the day, and a link to what we post here at tradingfibs.com, each trading session recap, which you can usually see posted about up to 1 hour after the market closes on each daily trading session. All right, let's quickly jump into. There it is, the daily gaps. Again, we'll close out some of these open gaps heading into next week. Let's jump right into the big picture for next week. New charts this week, guys. I decided to, as you've already seen here in the preview and through the week on the daily trend, I've gone ahead and put an overlay. What I've done is taken the individual 60-minute chart. I've taken the daily chart and its MML levels and the weekly chart and simply combined them onto one chart. Love to always still have the fibs. But as far as the range chart, there it is, the 4-hour overlay. This is a 4-hour chart with the overlay of the higher time frames and looking for zones of consolidation, confluence. And we could see here is the NQ through the week. This is a weekly picture here, as we saw there just on the range chart. Again, trying to pretty much stay with it. And remember, the 60-minute chart will most likely reset itself. So right now, the reversal overbought, we have several layers here, resistance, all in the 60-minute chart holding right here. So headed into week 19, any movement, action downside, again, pending the French elections, we don't know the results. Obviously, the bias is already there of which direction we'll hold, and most likely that was the direction on Friday in the price action of the market to close out the week. But hey, this is the market. You just never know what's going to happen. So let's look at the levels downside to watch. Obviously, here, price action. Let's actually jump over to the big picture first as we see, again, the NQ holding above those. Keep in mind those 3 key moving averages. So want to keep an eye on the 10. 10 is the first short-term resistance or support. And if we break that, we always want to look down to the zone of the 50. Institutional support obviously has been there for quite some time here on a daily chart. So as we head here to the overlay chart, you can see that there's that 10 EMA, which puts us in the zone down here. So that would be my first level. But actually, my first level on a 60-minute chart would be around 56.25. And then down here through support and reversal, which has a zone 56.05 to 55.86. Now, keep in mind, I'm not sitting here with a crystal ball. As I tell you each day, I leave that to the experts. But that is something I evaluate each day as markets change throughout the week. So pending watching the Globex levels, I will look for any change in these levels. But overall, big picture, we obviously know we're still remaining in an uptrend. So those are the levels I'll be watching to the downside, especially in the bigger picture, and all the way down here maybe to 55.66. Keep in mind those open gaps, right? Those open gaps, 95.50, 55.12, and 49.75. So any loss in price action or price momentum will obviously start to look down to those open gaps down below. So there's your first level of major support down here. in your range, and then we'll be looking down to the 4-hour level. The question is are we going to continue to the upside? Well, I can't tell you that, and the truth is nobody can tell you that. But if we are to head up, then obviously the 60-minute chart would reset itself, and my next major levels would be all the way up here to 57.81. So we got quite a ways to get up there on both the weekly, and obviously that's the only real levels that I have upside on the NQ. Truth is, I would love for a pullback to come in the market, but right now, that's where we sit. Now, on also a new chart that I've been playing around here with, I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is an ES. Let's go ahead and change this to the NQ. And we'll get it to the correct time frame. Now, this is a nice new overlay that I have, which is taking both the 1 minute, the 5 minute. Now, my preference is on a range chart. You can take a range chart. You can take one of the higher time frames. I like a 5-minute overlay, the 5-minute MML. That's what it looks like. The 5-minute, obviously a higher time frame would look like that, 10-minute. And a 1 minute would obviously give us a shorter time frame. Well, if you combine that all together, this is where we lie going into the Globex session. Now, if we gap up, we gap down, that we'll have time to reset over Globex. So I'll be ready for any French election results if there's to be any price action momentum. If it's not, it's already priced in. Business as usual. But you can see here, Friday's price action pretty much settled within that 1 to 10 minute range. Stopping here at the highs, 56.4950. So resistance here would look for price action to come back down underneath 44.50 and drive down to around 56.25 perhaps on the Globex. So keep that in mind. We'll reassess that on Monday morning and post that on the pre-market trend. All right, so there's our NQ picture. Let's change this back to an ES as we'll take a look at that here in a moment. Let's go to the MML overlay of the ES, jump into the bigger picture. There's our daily ES, again, holding above that 10 EMA, 50 SMA. Got a ways to go on the 200. And I use the EMA just for the fact that it's intraday, and I like to know where the shorter trend is. You can use a simple moving average, that's fine. But 10 EMA I use more for the intraday. But bigger picture, 50 still down here, 200. Lost a little traction there on the ES a little bit a while ago through the end of March and April, but regained above, and so we hold above. And so on the MML levels, entirely different picture. A lot of resistance up here on the ES. Obviously, first target will be the all-time high. Ring the bell. We'll see what happens. But there's our major resistance to the upside. Again, I can pull this up. I got weeklies up here. I got 4-hour charts. So we need to get above 24.14 here to start to deal with any of these upper levels, 22 up to 37 for a reversal. But at this point, I find this zone up here to be a lot of resistance, and we'll see if the ES is able to break up here. So 24.14 will be the high right now for the week that I'm looking at. Not far away, 14 points away. So at least in the short term, anything above that up to 24.37, and the 60-minute chart obviously will tell us a different tale through the week. Downside, obviously open gaps. Keep those in mind. Let's go back. There it is. 23.74 down to 23.53. So watch out for those. And obviously the zone here, 23.82 to 75 before we start. And you can see here the low resistance here on the weekly already lining up with the open gap. And there's our 50 down there. So if we get down here to the low 60-minute support, 82, obviously there will be some maybe a kick up. And then if we got to break that 10 EMA to get down to those open gaps and perhaps the 50. And we see where we are sitting to the upside. MMLs on the, let's go over to the daily trend. There it is, ES. Nice picture here. I have the range chart. This is the MML chart, the Murray Math levels here sitting in between the minute charts. Again, I prefer to watch it on the minute charts, but seeing that price action on Friday, actually, you're wondering, okay, here's the levels upside, here's the levels downside. Well, why did it stop there? There it is. Sure enough, look at that. Price action found the MML on the range chart here. And this is a 5-4 flex Renko. And price action finally kicking up as we saw price action here on the range chart. Resistance up here. Upside, or support down here. I apologize. Support down here. Took a couple tries. Break through the support resistance and headed up to the time frame, the 1 to 5 to 10 minute time frame up here. So really nice chart. So there's your Globex level. So if resistance holds here on Sunday, or at least into the Globex, We'll be looking all the way down here. Obviously, 10-minute chart will take a little bit longer to reset. So we'll be looking first down to 2382.75. And you like to look at where does that line up? Well, 82.75 will line up with the 60-minute chart. So definitely a first level to watch as far as downside resistance if we head down into the Globex and Monday morning session. All right, let's jump into the MMLs here for the YM. Again, price action holding now above the 10 and the 50 and the 200, obviously all the way back. There it is as we finished out our session on Friday. Price action again, a lot of resistance. All-time high, still have a ways to go there on the YM, but there's your first levels of resistance up to 21.016. Overbought on the 4-hour will be up here at 0.94. Watch for the 60-minute chart to reset. Level or zones of confluence will be down to the 50 period moving average. We've got to break that 10 first, as we see holding support here on the 60-minute chart here at 781. So we'll be looking down here to 694, the 50 period moving average downside, including, and don't forget, those open gaps on the YM downside here at 732 and 538. All right, quick look at GC. Taking a look at the big picture on weekly CL, as it really has been having a trouble. But there it is. Open gaps get closed out. Got to note them, and they did close out this week. So crude playing its own game. But hey, upside resistance on an MML, 62.50. We got a ways to go on that. Definitely the momentum sitting downside, as you see here, 37.50 on the crude. As crude on both a daily and a 4-hour chart, sitting below those key moving averages. But does find that the reversal held last week on the crude. So we'll be watching that to see if price action can lift upside. First level here, resistance 46.88, which would put us back up here at $50, which is the key resistance here. So you got to watch what happens at 50. We break that 50, we're going back up to 53.13 on the crude. Let's take a look at and wrap it up on the weekly GC. The gold price action off the MML highs drove down. That means momentum turnaround. Major support resistance, we're watching to see, are we going up to 1375 or coming down 1125? Well, what is the probability here? Well, let's take a look at both the daily and the 4-hour. As we can see, price action again pulling back from that major support resistance downside. So obviously the momentum shifting back downside, back under 50, back under SMA, which we noted that the market has obviously lifted. Gold we see in the reversal. Price action we want to see for support here, 12.18 if we're to head down a little bit lower, which we're seeing consolidation here for a couple days here downside on the 4-hour chart, which gives me reason to feel that price action might, and we'd want to wait for the breakout above 1234 to say that we're headed back upside, which will give us the lift on the bigger picture. Again, there's the weekly. There's your weekly. So there's your downtrend, your short-term downtrend. So yeah, downside 1125 might be the bigger picture as we head from up to down, but we did go down, so we're headed most likely perhaps back upside. Obviously, flip a coin, you don't know which way we're headed. So there's your levels. So what is the probability we head downside? What's the probability we head upside? We look to the smaller time frames. And that's where you put it together. 4-hour chart, obviously, finding that consolidation could get that lift back upside to 1250 if we get above 1234.4. Obviously, that 1250 will find some major support resistance. All right, guys. That is the big picture on the charts. Let's go ahead and take a look at the calendar running into next week. Economic calendar, Monday, starting with Fed speakers throughout the week. We have Jolt there on Tuesday. Obviously, anything post reaction to the French elections to play itself out through the week, and nothing as of key market internals on the economic calendar as seen in week 18. All right, Jedi traders, that pretty much concludes an insight into the daily trend and technical momentum of the key future markets and indices as I see them every day. So, big picture, bottom line, as I've already posted here, the technical momentum outlook for the week. Again, a recap of everything that we've talked about here, including the charts and where I sit on my longer-term ETFs. But bottom line, as we head into week 19, obviously those French election results, momentum to the downside. I'd like to see those open gaps get closed out, but monitor that 10-period moving average to the upside. ES might ring that bell. Sky's the limit, obviously. They're on the NQ as the weekly M is also lagging a little bit and trying to play catch up here. All right, so bottom line, keep that and I'll remind you throughout the week. Hey guys, feel free to stop by at my website here, tradingfibs.com, or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra is one simple strategy, any charts, right? Any time frame will keep you disciplined. There it is. Under the Heikin Ashi bars, we would love to see trends like that every day, but obviously the market has not been doing this, so you got to adapt a little bit, read a good psychology book. You probably have a good trading plan. If you don't, write it out. It's a good trading strategy, but again, it's about learning to ride the trend as long as possible, and there's a lot of great information out there, and get yourself a solid trade management plan. You can find me every day on Twitter at Trading Fibs here, or you can check me out on StockTwits as I post intraday charts. I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts, and I do leave the bias at the door when trading. Hey guys, if you're interested in joining us with our community of like-minded traders, feel free to email me, David at tradingfibs.com, where you can join us any Thursday or Friday to view the live chart setup as they happen in the trading day. Keynote, I will be out this part of this week, so pulling back on some of the daily videos. So this Thursday and Friday will not work out. So if you want to join us next week, feel free to email or me any information about our membership or the trading rules. Check out the trading rules page where I go over the key setups. Again, if you don't have the Sierra Charts platform, you can adapt this to your own platform. Again, the idea is finding that highest probability when market action will pull away on the charts and looking for that highest probability setup. Also, if you are interested in those Murray math charts, go ahead and check out my tutorial posted here on my YouTube channel, going over the highest probability setup where price action runs from one level to another. Keeping my core strategy. I had a great chart that I posted. Let's see, where was it? Let's just grab this one. Looks good. Okay, there it is. 6E Globex. Again, you can do this on the Globex session as well. Price action, solid Heikin Ashi bars. There they are in trend. The T3 core strategy, you can throw on a couple moving averages. Where are we going from MML low to MML high? What a great way to combine everything together into one strategy where you're running from one extreme to another, one outlier to another. Doesn't mean you need to bail up here. Just follow the trend on the HA bars. That's your intraday strategy in a market that seems to be running in both directions. Got to be ready both directions each day as an intraday trader. All right, Jedi traders, that should be it. Have yourselves a Blue Zone day, the remaining of the weekend. Watch that French election results. See if the market decides to make a move. Until then, I will see you online on my videos, daily trend videos. Again, make sure you know that I will be out a couple days this week and in week 20, but I'll still be posting throughout the week to keep you updated as towards the momentum of the charts. Until then, have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good night. Have a great week trading. This is David at Trading Fibs signing off.